A mountain of unsold SUVs and pickups, over 160 days supply, now bleeding their dealers dry at $420 a month per unit. Automakers chased profits so ruthlessly, they flooded lots with vehicles nobody wants. Now the industry is in crisis. Banks tightening the screws, dealerships facing closure, desperate salespeople begging you to take away $60,000 trucks for the price of a Camry. If you've ever felt priced out or burned by car shopping, everything's about to flip in your favor. 18 models, Audis, Hondas, Rams, Teslas, now packed with unheard of deals, and nobody's telling you why it happened. How did the average buyer end up with all the leverage, and what will it cost car makers next? Picture a dealer's lot in September 2025. Rows of untouched SUVs and pickups, sun-bleached window stickers, a silent parade of price tags nobody's biting on. For every truck that finally moves, 3 more sit, racking up interest. $420 every single month for each unsold unit. Multiply that by 160 days worth of inventory, and the math gets ugly fast. One Midwest dealer with $2.8 million in trucks and SUVs owes $47,000 a month just in floor plan interest, before paying $1 in rent or payroll. They need to sell 80 vehicles just to break even, but last month, only 23 left the lot. That's not just slow, it's a death spiral. This isn't a fluke or a local problem. National averages for full-size pickups, Silverado, F-150, Ram, have ballooned to 170 days supply. Some rural stores are drowning under 220 days worth of unsold trucks. Even the so-called hot brands aren't immune. Honda and Toyota crossovers are stacking up too, with 90 days supply on some 3-row models. Every day these vehicles sit, the dealers' losses pile up. $1,700 in interest on a $50,000 truck after just 4 months. That's before a single customer haggles for a rebate or asks for free oil changes for life. Lenders have caught on. Banks are pulling credit lines, calling the loan on stores that can't move inventory, forcing fire sales and bankruptcies. Tricolor Holdings, a major subprime chain, just filed Chapter 7. Industry analysts now predict 1 in 4 dealerships will close by year's end. Multi-store groups are auctioning off shop equipment. Small-town franchises are handing back the keys. Some dealers are so desperate, they're retitling new cars as used just to dodge factory rebate rules. Anything to get a few $1,000s back from a lender breathing down their neck. This is the car market's version of a panic. Dealers who used to laugh off lowball offers are now calling buyers back 3 times a week, slashing prices, stacking every incentive they can find. Service departments, the last lifeline, can't keep the lights on when the showroom floor is bleeding cash. The average buyer, once at the mercy of markups and wait lists, now holds all the cards. For years, automakers squeezed every penny, chasing profit at your expense. Now the tables have turned, and every unsold SUV is a ticking time bomb on their balance sheet. The only question left, how low will they go to get you behind the wheel? Manufacturers spent the last 3 years squeezing every last dime from buyers, jacking up MSRPs, slashing rebates, and flooding the market with whatever models padded their quarterly numbers. They told dealers to take more trucks, more SUVs, more EVs, whether customers wanted them or not. Now, with lots overflowing and lenders circling like vultures, those same automakers are forcing dealers to swallow bitter medicine. The latest move? Mandatory EV allocations. Picture being told you have to buy 10 electric crossovers for every gas SUV you actually sell, or risk losing your franchise. One dealer in the South put it bluntly, "They're sending us cars nobody asked for, and if we don't take them, they threaten to cut us off." It's not just about electric vehicles either. Lenders, burned by last year's defaults, are tightening the screws. Bankers demand more cash on hand, faster inventory turnover, and threaten to pull credit lines at the first sign of trouble. If a dealer can't move those unsellable trucks in 90 days, the loan gets called. That's not a warning. It's a death sentence. In the last 6 months, more than a dozen dealer groups have folded, their lots stripped bare by liquidators. National forecasts say up to 25% of all dealerships will close by the end of 2025. That's 1 out of every 4 stores gone. But here's the part almost everyone misses. This mess isn't an accident. It's the direct result of automakers chasing profit at your expense year after year. They cut features, raised prices, and forced models onto dealers who begged for more of what actually sells. When the EV mandates hit, the gap between what buyers wanted and what factories built turned into a canyon. Dealers got stuck with inventory they can't give away, and buyers, finally, have all the leverage. Now, the same companies that once laughed at lowball offers are sending out desperate emails, stacking rebates, and calling you back 3 times a week. The profit machine broke itself, and the pain is just getting started. Anonymous dealer after dealer tells the same story. We're returning allocations. We're refusing new shipments. Some of us are risking the wrath of the factory just to survive another month. One large group in the Midwest is consolidating stores and dumping aged inventory at a loss, hoping to stem the bleeding. Others are auctioning off shop equipment or retitling new cars as used, anything to squeeze a few more dollars from lenders who no longer want to play. The banks, the factories, the dealers, they all played chicken with your money. Now the tables have turned. For the first time in years, the buyer holds the power. The only question left is how far automakers will go to win you back, and how much more they'll have to give up before the bleeding stops. Dealerships across the country are posting numbers that would have seemed impossible last year. The 2025 Audi Q4 e-tron, once a status symbol with a $56,000 price tag, now sits under banners offering $299 a month for 24 months, $4,244 due at signing. The catch? Near perfect credit. And unless you're a returning Audi customer or recently left BMW, expect a bump. Even so, in cities from Los Angeles to Chicago, lots are packed with unsold Q4s, sales managers hoping for anyone with a FICO above 720. The 2025 Buick Encore GX AWD Preferred tells a similar story. $349 a month, 39 months, 0 down. If you're already leasing a GM vehicle, that's a $28,000 crossover for the price of a used Corolla payment. In the Midwest, rows of Encores sit untouched. Markups have vanished. Doc fees are negotiable. And Buick's loyalty program is so eager, they'll hand you $500 just for proving you once drove a Chevy. Chevrolet is pushing hard too. The 2025 Equinox EV, a $42,000 electric crossover, drops to $319 a month for 24 months, or 0% APR for 60 months for buyers. 5 years, no interest, on a brand new EV. In California and New York, dealers are honoring these deals without a fight. Elsewhere, a screenshot might be needed, but inventory is plentiful, and the offer ends September 30th. The 2025 Chevy Trax, a sub-$25,000 crossover, leases for $269 a month, 36 months, $2,509 due at signing. Dealers have a dozen or more on hand. Loyalty and conquest bonuses stack, but even newcomers see payments so low they feel like a misprint. Midwest buyers are getting Trax models at or below sticker, no games. With a 70% residual value, you're paying almost nothing for depreciation. Hyundai's 2025 Palisade and Santa Fe both come with 0% APR for 60 months. 5 years, 0 interest, and dealers still worry about moving enough units before the next shipment. Urban stores have 8 to 12 of each, and even the Santa Fe Hybrid, usually a quick sell, is now $319 a month for 24 months with $3,999 down. Labor Day incentives are holding strong. Jeep dealers, meanwhile, are overloaded with Grand Cherokee Ls. The limited 4x4 trim, once a premium buy, now comes with $6,000 off MSRP. No trade-in tricks, just straight cash to clear the lot. Loyalty stacks for FCA owners, but even without it, the deals are real. In some cities, a 3-row, 4-wheel drive Jeep now costs less per month than a base sedan. Then comes the 2025 Honda Prologue, AWD-X. $159 a month, no typo. That's the full lease payment for 24 months, $2,599 due at signing. A brand new electric SUV with federal and state incentives baked in, and dealers in California and New York holding 10 to 20 units each. For the first time in years, buyers are celebrating. The average person, squeezed for so long, is finally walking out with a new EV for less than a used Civic. The profit machine has cracked. And this is only the start. Jeep, a brand once allergic to discounts, is now offering $6,000 off the Grand Cherokee L Limited. 3 rows, leather, all-wheel drive. Features that used to command a premium, now marked down to prices that undercut base sedans. Dealers, facing rows of unsold inventory, are layering on loyalty cash for anyone with a Jeep in their past. In some markets, a $500 gas card is added, a quiet admission of just how far they're willing to go. The urgency is unmistakable. Lincoln's Corsair, a luxury crossover that once sat comfortably above $500 a month, now leases for $276, with $4,325 due. That's less than a mid-level Accord. Ford's luxury arm is so eager to clear 2024s that they're letting the bank swallow half the payment. Mention a competing brand, and another $1,000 vanishes from the price. Premium features, ventilated seats, hands-free driving tech, are suddenly within reach of buyers who never imagined a Lincoln in their driveway. The math is upside down. Mazda's CX-90 Hybrid, pitched as their move into the luxury segment, is now paired with $10,000 in lease cash, the most aggressive offer Mazda has ever made. Dealers, surrounded by unsold plug-ins, are tacking on loyalty bonuses for anyone who's ever owned a Mazda, or even considered one. The CX-90 Hybrid was supposed to be a game-changer. Instead, it's a symbol of the new market, where even 5-figure discounts aren't enough to empty the lot. Buyers, sensing the leverage, are holding out for more. Nissan has abandoned its old playbook. Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, all offered at 0% APR for 60 months. 5 years, no interest, plus loyalty and conquest cash stacked on top. Dealers are calling back prospects who disappeared weeks ago, offering all-weather mats and anything else to sweeten the deal. The longer these SUVs sit, the more creative the offers become. Tesla, once the industry's disruptor, is now chasing volume. Model Y long-range leases at $399 a month for 36 months, $3,000 due at signing, with the federal EV credit included. For the first time, Tesla's lease rates undercut Mercedes and BMW. In major cities, inventory is steady, but rural buyers are promised delivery in under 3 weeks, a timeline that would have been unthinkable last year. The message is unmistakable. Margins are shrinking, but sales must go on. Volkswagen's ID.4 pushes the limits further. 0% APR for 72 months. 6 years, no interest, on a new electric crossover. In California, Arizona, and Nevada, dealers line up ID.4s along the curb. National offers, local lease cash, and state EV credits all stack. What was once a December clearance tactic for gas models now applies to VW's electric flagship. These aren't base models or stripped-down specials. Automakers are slashing prices on loaded premium SUVs, offering cash on the hood and zero-interest loans. The power has shifted. The only question left is how much more they'll give up before the lots finally clear. The heart of the American truck market, Ram F-150 Sierra now comes with a price tag dealers never wanted to print. Start with the 2025 Ram 1500. For years, this was the backbone of the job site, the ranch, the guy who actually needs a truck. Now, you're looking at 1.9% APR for 72 months. Or if you're willing to take the plunge on a bigger loan, up to 15% off MSRP with 3.9% APR. That's a deal that would have been laughed out of the showroom 2 years ago. But today, dealers are calling back 3 times, just hoping you'll bite. The Ford F-150, the so-called king of the work trucks, is no longer immune. 3.9% APR for 60 months on new 2025 models, and the sales guys are stacking loyalty cash, trade-in bonuses, anything to keep inventory from rotting in the back lot. In rural Texas, one dealer admitted they'd rather take a $2,500 loss per truck than keep paying $400 a month in floor plan interest. You want a V8? They'll find one. You want a base XL with nothing but rubber floors? That's the one they'll discount hardest. GMC's Sierra 1500 is in the same boat. 0% APR for 36 months, or up to $6,750 in cash savings if you're trading in. Some stores are advertising $299 a month leases for returning lessees. Midwest dealers with 40 Sierras on the ground are practically giving away the elevation trim just to get out from under the bank. For years, these were the trucks that made the dealer's year. Now, they're the anchor dragging them under. The message is clear. If you need a workhorse, the best deals in a decade are staring you in the face. Automaker spent years squeezing every dollar from you. Now, they're paying you to take these trucks off their hands. Chevrolet's September playbook reads like a buyer's fantasy, if you know where to look. Start with the Silverado 1500 Crew Cab Custom. For years, this truck was the backbone of the job site, the family fleet, the guy who needed to tow, haul, or just feel invincible on the highway. Now it's 2.9% APR for 72 months. No fine print, no balloon payment lurking at the end. That's a 7-year loan at a rate you'd expect from a credit union, not a factory desperate to clear the lot. Dealers are calling it Truck Month, but the real story is written in the numbers. $44,000 sticker, $600 a month, and plenty of stores will throw in all-weather mats or a spray-in bed liner just to keep the lender off their backs. But if you want to future-proof your driveway, look at the Silverado EV. 0% APR for 60 months. That's right, 5 years, 0 interest, on a full-size electric truck that GM once promised would sell itself. Instead, they're stapling the lowest financing in the industry to every unsold unit. The catch? You'll need top-tier credit, and some regions have more EVs than others, but the deal is real, and it's national. For the first time, the price gap between gas and electric trucks has almost vanished. This isn't just about clearing old inventory, it's a factory admitting they overshot, that buyers have the final say. Whether you want a gas V8 or a 400-mile EV, the power is in your hands. The deals are out there. And for once, it's the automaker, not you, sweating over every unsold truck. By September 2025, U.S. dealers faced a 160-day supply of unsold pickups, costing about $420 per truck every month. Manufacturers chased profits and flooded lots with vehicles, but shifting demand and stricter lender terms left them with more inventory than buyers. This oversupply forced deals like a $159 lease on the Honda Prologue or 0% APR for 72 months on the Volkswagen ID.4. Offers rarely seen in past decades. Still, the full impact on dealership closures, estimated at 25%, remains uncertain, and not all incentives are guaranteed beyond the current cycle. For now, the data is clear. The average buyer holds unprecedented leverage as automakers struggle to move metal. The files and figures show a market turned upside down, with car companies paying the price for ignoring real consumer needs. As of this month, the buying power sits with you, not them. That's not speculation. It's what the documents, numbers, and deals reveal.